You have no control over me, Black Doom. I now understand why I am here. I made a promise and I'm here to keep it. Today, I put my past behind me.
Have it your way, Shadow. So be it. Be prepared to meet your maker. Your past, present, and future ends here. Today, prepare to die. Say goodbye, Shadow, as you witness my true wrath.
Tell me again why I'm doing this.
Because it fits, and the viewers demanded it. You gotta keep the audience happy.
As far as I could tell, only 3 people suggested it. Besides, what are you gonna be doing while I'm over here suffering?
Replaying Sonic Rush, that way I'm prepared to tackle that video.
Damn it, that's actually a good thing. Well, can you at least do the outro?
Fine, but you're doing the majority.
I guess I can live with that. Let's get this over with. Look, I get it. This game wants to be edgy the hedgy so badly, but of all the laughably bad stuff in this game, that was hardly funny.
Okay, I know this game is some boosh, but are you serious? Why did crashing that bike into that alien cause an explosion? And more importantly, it's not like you jumped off the motorcycle before you crashed into him, you legit leapt out of the explosion.
Most vehicles do have some kind of explosion when they crash, and what part of Ultimate Life Form do you willingly choose to not understand?
Man, I wish melee attacks in this game were this effective.
Well, they gotta nerf some of Shadow's abilities, otherwise we'd be too overpowered. And even then, the guns make this game cake.
Why is Shadow so pissed off at this gun soldier in particular? Is he the one that shot Maria?
He's clearly pissed in general right now. This is one of, frankly, many attempts made by this game to be edgy.
Here's the exact same text twice. You know, just in case you couldn't read one of them.
Everything wrong with Shadow the Hedgehog, ladies and germs. The designers are courteous.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're not actually the same text. One of them has the word celebration, hyphenates fire in the sky, and adds quotation marks to it, but why?
Recognizes his own sin is invalid, but ignores it to create a new one. Classic.
Also, isn't it kind of suspicious that they have a very close-up photo of the Black Comet? Like, sure, maybe they took it 50 years ago when everyone was still on the Ark, but did the internet exist back then? I mean, that space station is a marvel of technology, but everyone on the Ark died after the Black Comet was there. I guess what I'm saying is, who took this photo?
This is starting to take me back to when I was doing this in my dimension, and that's not a good thing. You have created a possible answer for yourself, but you have to ask some specific questions because apparently even a game as god-awful as Shadow the freaking Hedgehog needs some nitpicking. There are a multitude of things you can criticize. A 5-second newspaper is not one of them.
Maria!
Well, even that's wrong, because didn't Maria manage to get you inside the pod before the gun soldiers shot her? And give you that whole speech about making the people of Earth happy?
You're aware that Shadow's memory is in shambles, right? He only remembers Maria's death, not the exact specifics.
So what was that all about? If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him.
What? No, you don't!
Maybe, but does he have any other options? No one else told him anything about him for whatever reason, so it's somewhat understandable that he would jump at the first chance to get answers.
The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds.
Do you even know what Chaos Emeralds are if you can't remember anything?
Do you even remember Heroes in Battle? You know, where he specifically held one of them?
Why are you heading into the city? What could have possibly indicated to you that that's where you needed to go?
Why are you acting like he knows where to go? He's gotta start somewhere, and the Black Arms are in the city currently.
Why are some of these buildings destroyed already? The aliens have been here for a total of a minute! No, seriously, the time from when the first alien starts falling to when this cutscene ends, which, mind you, has no interruptions, is exactly 1 minute long.
That's called being efficient.
Wait a minute. What the f*** does that say? Oh my god, I've never noticed this until I recorded the game for this video, and I've never seen anyone else talk about it, but the text in the background is English. Shadow, please make everyone happy. Do you know what you are born for? You can't escape from you destiny, Shadow. Shadow, what's his warn? Let's destroy the Nermies together, Shadow. Okay, so not only are certain words spelt wrong, but they can't even get apostrophes right. They didn't give the word can't one, and they put the one in what's after the S, pluralizing it. Shadow, what's his warn?
I feel like that's an intentional decision to showcase what Shadow's memory is like. Also, dude, only rant if it's worth it.
Holy shit. Wait, no, the text in the main menu. Oh my god! They not only used the same text for both screens, but no one bothered to correct either of them. And this isn't just an oversight or a mistake, this is a deliberate choice. The fonts are different, and the main menu has an extra line that reads, Shadow, what's next? You are with Sonic, where what's is spelled correctly. What's is the fuck is going on? This is the 14th sin, and we haven't even gotten to the first level yet. And speaking of the first level, you gotta play this shit 10 times if you want to get the full ending. And 326 times if you want to get every single story path. 326! That's almost how many days there are in a year! Now, you guys know me, I'm more of a narrative guy. I'm not one to pick a gameplay too much, but that's 10 times of hearing
Promise time.
And
hey Shadow, long time no see.
And doing the same thing 10 times! And yeah, I know, there are 3 different missions, and you technically don't even have to do them to get all the endings, but then that means you're literally doing the same thing 10 times just to get to a last story segment, which, don't worry, we'll get to.
First of all, you still don't get that the text is deliberate. And second, did it really take you this long to get to something actually wrong with this game? You may be 100% correct, but it should not take you 15 sins just to get to the actual bad stuff in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Hey Shadow, long time no see.
Charriii5’s the series' most prominent line cliche.
Wait, why'd you change the cliche?
Because iconic is a bit of an overstatement.
Why is the first Chaos Emerald just on the street? In a laser cage? In front of a spring? Also inside a cage?
If you genuinely can't figure out that the Black Arms captured the emerald and are protecting it, then you shouldn't be making videos, let alone a video game.
Well done, Shadow.
So, regardless of what you choose to do, you get the second Chaos Emerald anyway. But why? Is it really just on the street like that? And isn't Black Doom's whole plan to get the Chaos Emeralds anyway? Why is his mission to kill the gun soldiers and not, okay, we're just gonna kill the rest of them anyway, let's just get the emerald that's lying right here on the street now and destroy the other humans later?
Because Black Doom wants to showcase the Black Arms' power. And you know what they say, to the victor go the spoils.
Well, this is a bunch of horseshit. The people at Gun are supposedly watching the events in Westopolis unfold in real time, and I get it. Developers sometimes use FMV stills as images on monitors, or textures, what have you. But why is one of those stills unequivocally Black Doom? He's not even on Earth. Only his eye is. He's on the Black Comet. And we know this is the real Black Doom because this is what the projection of him looks like.
No one's going to examine every individual monitor in this room. There's no reason to.
Also, why is nobody in this scene animated? Like, at least make them look like they're pressing keys or something. Make them look busy, raise the mizzenmast, jib the topsails. That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Charriii makes an Avengers reference that isn't a sin in the game cliche. Also, this room is only shown from this view a few times in the whole game, for like 10 seconds per instance. It's not that big of a deal.
The black aliens have hit 6 major cities around the world.
That's racist.
It's official. Charriii doesn't know what racist means. They're literally black. Ish. Someone calling something black when it is black isn't racist. And you're not funny either.
All points bulletin. Be on the lookout for Shadow, the Black Hedgehog.
Again, what the hell? I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Shadow the Hedgehog is. He did help in saving the world from the Ark crashing into it. Why is the fact that he's black relevant all of a sudden?
Because they want to make sure they don't confuse him for Sonic this time.
But now, there's no time to waste here. Go and access the United Federation's mainframe. Understand?
No, I understand, but I don't think you do. You're asking us to just waltz up to a computer, hack into the government's heavily encrypted data, and never mind, you just teleported us literally into the mainframe. Well, fuck me, I thought this was going to be difficult.
Okay. What was the point in any of that?
I fail to see the logic here.
Oh, Shadow. What a coincidence running into you here. Actually, I'm on a government assignment to track down a Chaos Emerald in the area. How about we both look for it together?
Wait, so 2 of the world's most powerful gems are just left on the street like they're worthless, but one of them is converted to data and placed inside a digital world? Not entirely sure that the United Federations are using their incredible digitizing technology to its fullest.
Or the emeralds simply scatter all over the world every time they're used. You don't see Sonic with them afterwards, do you?
Also, why send one of your own agents to retrieve the emerald? Can't you just retrieve it yourselves? Because Rouge has to come back into the real world somehow, right? And given that the emerald is merely data right now, couldn't you just drag and drop chaos_emerald_yellow.obj to a software and just reform it that way?
Clearly not if Rouge was sent in to retrieve it. I love that you act like you understand something when the game is showing you that you're wrong.
Tell the commanding generals that the United Federation will never surrender to terrorists.
Yes, Mr. President.
When the hell would this photo have been taken? Everyone thought Shadow was dead after Adventure 2, and he had hardcore amnesia all throughout Heroes. Hell, he still has amnesia now. Did they call up Sonic and be like, hey Sonic, so we heard that Shadow's still alive, and we just wanted to know if you guys would like to come over to the White House, maybe take a few pictures, grab a bite to eat. How would they have heard that? How would they have contacted Sonic?
They found a way somehow, and even though Shadow doesn't remember anything, it's not like he's going to say no to having his picture taken.
Isn't that Dr. Eggman?
It's not his fucking last name. He's Eggman, not Eggman.
The nitpicks are practically peeling away my skin.
Hey, Shadow. The black creatures have infiltrated my castle. I'd like you to go and light those giant lanterns. They're part of my special defenses.
That's the most convoluted defense system I've ever heard of. Why not just have a defense system that you can control remotely with the press of a button? And okay, if you want to do this stupid lantern bullshit, why not install flamethrowers that can do the job for you? Because the lanterns are spread pretty far apart, and at that point, they're most likely already tearing through your defenses. Not to mention, would you just be f***ed if Shadow wasn't here? What would you have done then?
Simpler defenses are easier to deactivate. This is more complex and not as easy to take down. And maybe you would have had one of his robots do it. Who knows or cares?
Oh, it's a dead end. Or is it?
What is your goddamn deal? You built this place, right? Meaning you specifically designed this part to be a dead end. But I can't access the rest of the castle and therefore the rest of the lanterns unless I find a way to move forward, all while you're telling me it's imperative I light your lantern for the sake of your defense systems. Meaning I'm forced to blow up walls in this place with stacks of dynamite you just left lying around. Do you see how fucking insane you are?
It's amazing how you somehow got all of that bullshit out of Eggman taunting Shadow. The fact that he was taunting him about it means that he designed this place to have secret passages. Think before you bitch, or you'll become a bitch.
Now, let me show you the power of my greatest creation.
This is something else that's really weird. Because of how they inaccurately predicted how players would go about the different paths, sometimes we'll get combinations that don't make a whole lot of sense. Like, for example, I'm starting out with the true dark path and just helped Eggman with his stupid lantern defense system, and didn't help Amy find cream and cheese, meaning they will die a sad and lonely death here. But despite that, Amy is still helping me fight Eggman. Meaning that not only is Eggman a giant dick for assaulting us after having helped him, but Amy's a bad friend for leaving a 6-year-old rabbit trapped behind a wall and not ignoring me to look for her. Seriously, I do not need her for this fight.
You have a point with Amy, but Eggman clearly states in the previous cutscene that the emerald is his. So even if you did help him, he's not going to give up the emerald.
Hey, it's Shadow. Good timing. Black creatures have huge bombs that they're trying to set off here in the city.
No, those bombs are clearly the property of G.U.N since they're locked inside of gun containers. Now, I don't really see how they could have locked up bombs with the black arms placed there so easily, but what I also can't see is why or how G.U.N managed to lock up the bigger bombs, but not the tiny ones.
It's called priorities. Bigger bombs make bigger bangs, so of course they would steal those ones first.
In this scene, the role of Shadow the Hedgehog will be played by Solid Snake.
Is the most powerful weapon, able to pierce stars.
Piercing the stars.
Tomorrow's prosperity ritual will all be for nothing.
Prosperity ritual? Tomorrow?
Charriii makes a Metal Gear Solid reference.
Go! What fools. Humans created the Eclipse Cannon to protect themselves from terror. Instead, it will be used to destroy mankind.
Oh my god, this thing flies slow. Shadow might as well just float to the Ark.
I don't know, the following level says otherwise.
HQ, do you read?
To all who oppose me!
Wait, what the hell? I know this wouldn't be the first time in the series that it's happened, and honestly, it's kind of my bad that I've never brought it up, but how does one fall to Earth from space? Already there's supposed to be no gravity here, but falling to Earth as opposed to, I don't know, missing Earth and heading to Mars or something just doesn't seem right, even by this world standards.
The Ark is a satellite with artificial gravity. If you fell off the Ark like that, your momentum would carry you towards Earth until you got caught by Earth's gravity. It's not that confusing.
We interrupt Shadow the Hedgehog to bring you the scene from Independence Day.
Charriii makes a pop culture reference.
Also, according to the Sonic the Hedgehog canon, or some dude in Japan that doesn't know where Washington, D.C. is, the White House is in Illinois.
That's alternate universes for you. You're an idiot if you think this is the real-life America.
How the hell is the president alive? That was a direct hit on the White House, and he was practically on a balcony when that happened. He should be dead!
Or he got out just barely. Granted, it's not shown, but it is implied.
Never mind me. What about the people of Central City?
No need to worry, sir. Orders were issued yesterday, and everyone has been evacuated to the safe zone.
You evacuated an entire city of people to a safe zone in less than a day? Okay, let's say for the sake of argument that's true. Where is this safe zone you're talking about? Because bear in mind, this isn't just a citywide attack, or even a county-wide attack. The Black Arms just shot a laser to the entire Midwest, meaning it's not even just a statewide attack either. Multiple states got a taste of that too, and millions just died. Did you see that blast radius? Or who knows, the president, a mortal man who was in the epicenter of the attack, survived a laser that blew up half the moon. Which, by the way, looks f***ing fine in the opening cutscene. Celestial bodies don't just rotate 180 degrees when they lose mass, Izuka. We would still see a part of it blown off. But also, you evacuated the entire city, but not the president of the United Federations. You know, your leader? The man that I would assume you're sworn to protect? Mr. I can take another laser, please hit me with your Eclipse cock, Black Daddy, the first one tickled? That's the man you don't even bother to tag on Facebook saying, hey, President Superman, we outie because some black dudes are about to yeet us, delete us our city, hashtag President Fivehead.
I got like half of that cavalcade of nonsense. Give me a second. Okay, I think I processed that. First of all, clearly the safe zone is somewhere else in the country if the commander isn't worried about the blast radius. Second, in this universe, the moon can and did rotate to where you can't see the missing side, as said in the Sonic Twitter, which is 100% canon, by the way.
Plus, all I really want is just to help people, you know?
You got that wrong. You blew up the moon.
Only half of it. And look, you can't even see the missing half anymore.
There are reasons for that. Maybe someday we'll get to tell those stories.
And third, the president was evacuated in time, as you clearly see. They prioritized the people first because they were the ones in immediate danger. Also, Charriii says boner.
Prepare all weapons to strike incoming vessels. Mobilize Diablon.
But sir, it's not ready yet.
I don't care. We have no other option. We must protect the president and the Chaos Emeralds at all costs.
Well, you already f***ed up there, Commander, because President I Can Survive Laser Jizz just had a laser fall on him and his house, and Shadow has 5 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds because your people keep them in cages on the goddamn street.
So you're going to ignore that the gun soldiers tried to protect them when they found them, and the ones that weren't protected clearly hadn't been found yet? Also, Charriii says the same thing a third time, cliche.
Shadow, what are you gonna do with them? I'm Shadow the Hedgehog.
That is not even close to what Sonic asked.
As I said, listen before you bitch.
With the power of these emeralds, I'm going to destroy this damn planet.
And then what? You realize you live here, right?
Once again, your previous sin is rendered invalid, but you completely ignore it. He'll destroy other planets. Those who wish destruction will always crave more.
1 Chaos Emerald left.
You disobeyed my orders.
Yeah, well, I told you. No one tells me what to do.
Motherfucker, this whole game, especially this path, is dependent on you doing exactly what everyone tells you to do.
This path? Yes. The whole game? Well, the neutral path says otherwise.
Again, I don't really rag on gameplay too much, but can we all agree that both the levels Maria is in suck ass?
That depends on the mission, honestly. If you're going for the hero or dark missions, sure. But if you're going neutral, it's not so bad. Even then, Black Comet is worse than both of them.
Isn't this place huge? Even I still get lost in here sometimes.
Yeah, that's why they suck, Maria!
Charriii sins the same thing twice, cliche.
What the?
So I know what you're thinking. When did this happen? This wasn't in the opening cutscene, and despite what a lot of people may think, I actually know my shit when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog because I was a lonely kid who played video games and spends a lot of his time reading trivia because I appreciate the amount of detail and attention, the thought that goes into things. So yes, I know that Eggman was always his Japanese name, Sonic's name in the Archie comics is Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog, and despite everyone being objectively wrong to the point where to this day people try to correct me by telling me that Tails is 11 when he's 8, all this to say that I know this is a still from the part of the opening cutscene that was censored so the game could get an E10 rating. But that's kind of the thing. It's only Maria falling in slow motion, which is supposed to symbolize her getting shot and dying. Granted, it's not graphic or anything, you don't see blood, you don't see the bullet go in. But why, if they cut that part out, are they putting it here when it's essentially the same thing? I mean, kids aren't stupid, they know what a gun is and what it can do. Not to mention, if you're playing this game, you've probably played Adventure 2 before it, where they explicitly state that Maria died. It's not so much that they cut that scene out, but if they did, why include this still and not one that you did show in this game?
Censorship is stupid sometimes. This is far from the worst example. Also, if you actually know your shit when it comes to Sonic, then why aren't you applying it to any of these videos? Oh, that's right, because they're just jokes. Sure, I'll point out what I think are actual flaws in the games I cover, and occasionally get really serious, but don't worry guys, I'm just joking. You see these moments where I crack comedy that are severely outnumbered by the serious sins? That makes the whole video nothing but a joke, right?
Humans.
Did Maria turn into Doom's Eye? Was Maria Doom's Eye this whole time? I knew it.
Yes. To the second one.
Sir, your transport is ready. We must go now. Sir, please.
Dude, you just got here. Give the president some time to react at least. Plus, what's the rush? President, give me your sky cummies, Doom Daddy can withstand a direct hit from the Declipse cannon.
Charriii sends the same thing a fork time cliche and says boner along with a bunch of other gross shit.
Why is there a Sega print on the back of this photo? Is Sega Photography Company in this universe?
Yes.
This makes 5 Chaos Emeralds.
Ha ha ha.
Shadow, we seem to have a problem with rats running loose on the base. Return immediately to the Black Comet and exterminate them.
Wait, what do you mean return to the Black Comet? Shadow's never been on the Black Comet, you clown. He was created and lived on the Ark until he was forced down to Earth. Twice!
The Black Comet is their base of operations. Since Shadow is part of the Black Arms, at least in this path, he's saying return to it in that sense.
How the hell did Knuckles get here? The Black Comet is currently soaring in space right next to the Ark, but did everyone take the spaceship that Sonic and Tails are on in other playthroughs? Because he could have glided from the Ark to the Comet, but I don't even know how Knuckles made it to the Ark in the first place.
Charriii answers himself, cliche.
Shadow!
What the f*** are you doing here, and how did you get the egg dealer on the Black Comet?
300 IQ genius, remember? He has plenty of machines that can make that possible, and he's here to stop the Black Arms. The world is his to conquer.
Stop that! Hey! No, not Shadow Fever!
Okay, first off, idiot, why in the mother of f*** would you install that knowing you're going to fight Shadow on your mech? And you could say that maybe he did it to power up the Shadow androids, but Shadow Fever fills up Shadow's Dark Gauge, which lets him use Chaos Blast, which Eggman wouldn't have known Shadow could do because this is literally the first time he's ever used it. Even then, I would understand, at least theoretically, how Shadow Fever could power the androids, but how does it fill up the real Shadow's Dark Gauge? How is it that in a world with an anthropomorphic amnesiac hedgehog with red marks on his quills that was created in a space lab by a scientist who based the hedgehog's appearance on ancient markings the scientist found, depicting a Super Saiyan hedgehog fighting an ancient water god who are both powered by mystical power jewels, and the blood of a floating alien with a vagina for a face, where the hedgehog befriends a 12-year-old girl that gets shot by the military while she sends the hedgehog down to Earth on an escape pod to only be captured by the military on Earth, be put in stasis for 50 years, to then be released by the scientist scientist's grandson, the thing I find hard to believe is that the scientist's grandson's mech can somehow supercharge the hedgehog with dark powers.
Shadow Fever is meant for the Shadow androids, and the reason you don't buy this is because you don't buy anything. You may swear time and time again that you really do, but you see...
The problem with you is, you're completely delusional.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog. I, and only I, know what is best. No one can tell me what to do. This is who I am.
What?
Goodbye, Doctor.
Holy shit, did Shadow just kill Eggman?
Yes, he did. You got a problem with that?
This game, man, it does stuff to me. I've never riffed on music in a game before. Not that I can remember, but oh my god, this song is ridiculous. And if you've never heard it, please look it up. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what it's called, and I assure you, you won't need the other 2 guesses. It repeats its opening verse right after the opening verse ends, leading into the chorus, which utters the name of the song 6 times, 1 more original verse after that, and then the chorus again 3 times, to only then repeat the name of the song 1 more time to end the tune, meaning they say the words almost dead 25 times.
Yeah, the song is ridiculous, but in a laughably bad way, not an outright bad way.
To swap your weapon for another weapon that's on the ground, just press the X button. Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead using those things.
Oh my ass, Ogilvy.
Smash Brothers isn't canon, and he wouldn't even be in Smash for another 2 years.
Perhaps Professor Gerald has done more to your memory than I imagined.
Where did the emeralds go?
Hammer space, panicky smurf.
Charriii5’.
Come on, Charriii isn't that bad.
Vector told me that he wants me to find 5 top secret discs. But like, what's a top secret disc?
I mean, you probably should have asked Vector that before you came here, right? Like...
He's 6, Charriii. As capable as he is, he's not going to think these things through.
Why the hell do the Shadow androids look like Mario from Super Mario 64 when he's too far away from the camera? Like, I know that they try to have less to render by having the models be low poly, but goddamn, did they think we were going to forget how identical to Shadow they looked in Heroes?
Maybe it's to distinguish them from the real Shadow? Those were pre-rendered cutscenes in Heroes. They're not going to translate to another game. Also, it's from the Sega Saturn, not Nintendo 64. If you're going to reference the blocky generation of gaming, at least get the console right.
Android? Am I an android too?
Well, you don't look like a mobile device.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Why does Shadow, an organic life form who only thinks he might be a robot, look shinier than Omega, who is a robot?
That's due to them reusing his model from Heroes. Granted, Omega's model had more shine as well, but it's not that big of a deal given how he's barely a thing in this game.
Doctor, please, I need to know. Those androids, the ones that look like me, am I?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, what? You didn't even let Shadow finish what he was gonna ask. He could have finished with a monkey, and I have to say, that's pretty presumptuous of you, Eggman.
Is it really, though? Given what Shadow was saying, it's reasonable to assume he was going to ask if he was an android. At least for anyone with an IQ higher than 5.
The pieces are coming together. This ultimate life form they keep referring to is the Black Hedgehog, and he died.
The only other time someone has called you the ultimate life form was Black Doom saying you were the ultimate life form back in the True Dark Path. I know Rouge calls you that in Death Ruins, but I think those are the only 2 times someone else calls you that. No one even does it in this playthrough.
You're forgetting about Heroes in Battle, where he's also referred to as the ultimate life form.
The mech's automatic system is set to overwatch the 3rd slot as the designated attacker.
I just, after all these years, process what Omega just said. And I mean in the sense that this is up there among the stupidest mechs Eggman has ever created. Like, conceptually, it's pretty cool. It's just a shame that this is one of the only games set in the Sonic universe where, unless you count Circus Park, which is more of a carnival one, there's no casino-themed levels, so you blew your load a little early with this one. But what I'm getting at is that while it's kind of cool to taunt your opponent by showing them how you're going to attack, which granted could be seen as pretty dominant of itself because you're letting the opponent know what's coming, thus letting them use that information to protect themselves, why on earth would you put buttons on the outside of the mech that allow your opponent to use the automatic system? Because Eggman himself is never going to use those buttons. He can't reach them from where he's sitting. So what's their purpose? Originally, I was going to ask how the mech knew who had logged the 3rd slot, if either of you can make the slot stop, but that just means you deliberately designed the outside buttons to lock the slots differently than on the inside. Even worse, you designed the third slot specifically to designate the attacker, when you could have just deactivated that slot on the outside and locked the third slot yourself from within your own control panel. You made one of the coolest concepts one of the dumbest things you ever made, you stupid asshole!
I agree with the egg dealer being stupid, albeit not to the degree you hold it, but it's not a bad thing that a Sonic game doesn't have a casino level. Sonic 1, 06, Secret Rings, Black Knight, and Generations, unless you're referring to the 3DS version, don't have casino levels either.
You still don't know your place, do you? Black Ball, I summon you!
Well, no, that's just misleading, because his body is a purplish indigo, which leads into a ruby red.
It's still part of the Black Arms, who look similar to it.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
Dude, chill, you just got here. Wait, why are we here? Usually you're teleported or told to go somewhere else. What compelled you to come here of all places? The Chaos Emerald isn't even here, technically. Tails just randomly shows up and he's the one who has it. You were just in the right place at the right time.
This can be seen as just a coincidence that Shadow was randomly looking for the emeralds and came here. But in a story like this, coincidences are the least of its problems.
Also, isn't it weird that Shadow emphasizes the word damn, but the subtitles emphasize the word fourth? According to the subtitles, Shadow should have said, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?" Also, it's a question, so it should have a question mark along with that exclamation point.
Sending this line, as much as TS and I hate Shadow, this line is too iconic.
Look at that! It's Eggman's theme park. He made it out of the rings he's taken from around the world. I've got to get those rings back.
Who is Tails talking to? I have a habit of talking to myself as well, but I don't typically stop what I'm doing to do so. Tails just stops mid-air to admire Eggman's construction and announce his own agenda. Probably not a good thing to do when you're about to rob someone.
The only person around is Shadow, and Tails isn't aware of that. Yes, Tails gets shot out of the sky 2 seconds later, but that's a defense system. It's not like they heard what he said.
What the heck happened? Did Tails get shot out of the sky? Did the Tornado 3 blow a fuse? I mean, either way, Tails wouldn't have followed that trajectory. He wasn't in motion. In both cases, he would have fallen straight down.
Or he got shot right as he started moving. You can't say that he didn't, given that we don't see him get shot.
Aren't you done yet? At this rate, the entire day will be wasted.
Yeah! Whole day wasted.
Hey, back off. Data retrieval isn't exactly my specialty.
Being that they're private investigators, shouldn't they have a data specialist? Like, Vector handles the investigative part, Espio handles the spying, and Charmy, well, he plays a drum in the band.
Three's company. They're doing the best with who they have, and they can't exactly hire anyone given how broke they always are.
Also, being that they're investigators, wouldn't it make more sense for Vector to be an alligator? So he could be Vector the investigator? Look, I'm just saying.
Charriii makes a pun, yet continues to send them cliche.
Look, you might think that my investigator pun was stupid, but Shadow just used his arm to literally hack into Eggman's computer.
Brooks, every time. Shadow, thanks for your help earlier.
Wait, how did Espio get here before we did? We entered first!
He took another path.
You know what they say, the more the merrier. You know what they say, the more the merrier. You know what they say, the more the merrier. You know what they say, the more the merrier.
Finally, something we agree on.
Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
Impeccable fucking logic, Sonic. The Ark, which we all know is in space, is exactly where the aliens are going, and you're going too, which I guess means you're going too.
This isn't really a retort to what you're saying, but I just want to point out that the original line in the script was "they're on their way to the Ark," so I guess that means we're going too. It's still a sin that Jason Griffin misread the line, but it's still something to make note of.
Come on, let's roll. Next stop, the Ark.
You know, as opposed to Noah's.
Damn
it! What does it all mean? These memories, the doctor's actions and words. Nothing makes sense. Was it real?
I think Shadow's going through the 5 stages of playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
You're hilarious as always. Also, there are 11 stages of playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
You killed everyone I loved. My family. Maria. I've been waiting all my life for this day.
What? Me? And Maria?
Hate to be that guy, and despite what I said 5 years ago, but it's technically Maria and me.
Nobody cares! Worst of all, my family! Finally, justice is served!
Did the commander go into a literal blinding rage that he didn't see Shadow move behind him? Did he use chaos control? Because not only does he usually announce that he's using it, but we usually hear it being used too.
Or Shadow used his super speed to get behind him as he shot. I'm surprised you didn't even consider that.
Find the computer room!
Sending this line too.
Leave now and never return.
Still better than the live-action remake of The Lion King.
Sorry, Charriii, but you've got the wrong address. This sim belongs to the Lion King 2018, who lives across the street.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there! Yet, things may not be what they seem. You could be.
What do you mean, don't go there yet? You should never go there. Could be what? You don't just stop your pep talk when someone's going through depression. You should finish whatever encouraging thing you're gonna say. That being said, if someone's trying to comfort you and be there for you in your troubling times, you shouldn't just walk away or shield yourself. Oftentimes, we don't consider the people that have been there for us or know how powerful the things we say to others can be until it's too late. Over 300 million people around the world suffer from depressive disorders, and that's just the number of people that are willing to talk about it. Many others keep their mental health a secret, either because of the stigma surrounding it or because they're unable to properly identify the symptoms. Close to 800,000 people commit suicide every year, and mind you, not all those numbers are associated with depression or even a mental health disorder. But it's still heartbreaking to think that a person takes their own life on average every 40 seconds, sometimes due to things that are out of their control or even by accident due to, among other factors, self-harm. And that number gets more terrifying when you consider that there are indications that for every adult that dies by suicide, there are 20 more people attempting it. It sucks. It sucks to feel like the world would be better if you were dead or if you had never been born. And wanting that pain or that affliction to just go away and be able to actually function socially by work, even sleeping, is something I completely understand and have gone through. Fortunately, there are a shit ton of people who have not gone through that and probably won't go through that in their lifetime. And that's great, but please, I implore you, don't be a part of the statistics I just talked about. I know that under distress conditions, it's really hard to listen to those who are trying to help. Hell, it's hard to even think straight or rationally, so we act on impulse. And that also goes for people who don't have a mental illness. Similarly, it's hard to keep your shit together when someone won't listen to you when you're doing your best to be comforting, or when you're trying to help. But please, if you're in that position, don't stop trying to help. If you or anyone you know, even if you're not cool with that person, you gotta put that petty shit aside and kindly tell them to contact a suicide prevention hotline or go to therapy. And if you don't know where you can find that information, I'll put some numbers and links in the description so that you know where to do that. And I'm positive I can't list every possible resource, so feel free to leave a comment with the emergency hotlines of the country you live in if I didn't list it. It's never too late to make a change, because even if you feel like nobody loves you, or that you're a waste of space, or that nobody would miss you if you were gone, you're genuinely, and I'm saying this as someone who has had these thoughts himself, you're genuinely more valuable than you know. We don't often realize the impact we have on other people's lives, or how much someone loves and appreciates us, and that's a major issue. People don't let the ones they love know that they love them, and I don't understand why that is. Like, it could literally save someone's life to tell them that you love them. And if you don't think that you love yourself, you might be sorely mistaken. Because the fact that all these contributing factors that can cause depression, whether it be because you don't feel like what you do is valued or is cherished as what others do is, or that you don't feel like you're talented or good looking, or you feel like you're an arrogant asshole who has messed up in the past and is doomed to fail, and that people judge you without even knowing you, and you emotionally abuse yourself into thinking that you could lose everyone or everything by having or doing something that makes you happy, the fact that all that leaves you yearning for an escape means that you care and love yourself enough to want a change. And I'm not saying you should take that escape. I'm saying that because you want that change, you care about how you're feeling, and by proxy, yourself. And okay, maybe even after all that, you still don't. But that doesn't mean nobody does. Because I didn't just spend all this time talking to you about the risks of depressive disorders to look like I care. It's wrong that we lose so many people because they decide to not speak up about how they feel. It's wrong that so many people feel trapped with only one escape. It's wrong that we don't always acknowledge those who are going through rough times. It's wrong that when we do acknowledge it, we sometimes react defensively. It's wrong that Vector didn't finish his thought and let Shadow know how valuable he thinks he is and how much he appreciates that he helped him find the computer room. And it's wrong that Shadow, who just stopped an alien empire from taking over the world, saving millions of lives, who sacrificed himself to stop a space colony from destroying Earth, who collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds in order to remember his past, because he cared about himself so damn much that he wanted to know who he was and establish an identity for himself now, thinks that his life is worthless because of something he never asked for and had no control over. Being born. But there is nothing wrong with wanting a better life for yourself and wanting to be happy. So please, you deserve to get up and make a change in your life. Because you have that power. And because you matter. Okay, I'm gonna give a little grace period because I'm writing the script and I don't know if the next scene is gonna be a huge whiplash in terms of tone, so feel free to pause the video if you need to and come back when you're ready. We good? Okay, on to making more fun of this game.
Hey guys, Tony Sonic here. I know DT is supposed to be hosting this video, save for the outro, but I have to step in here. So before this video was even scripted, I got several comments warning me about this message and or telling me why they didn't like it. Some of you even said that you couldn't wait to see my reaction to it. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint those people, but I can't in good conscience let DT give this message any sort of sin. I've heard your thoughts saying that it was too long or out of place for a video like this. And if he had brought it up out of nowhere, I'd almost agree, but that's not the case. He made this message out of Shadow's own depression and his reaction to it. And the length is a non-factor because something like this can't be glossed over. It's the reason I let the whole thing play and didn't cut him off at any point. In fact, this is the side of Charriii that I really like to see. The side that isn't a moron that makes so many annoying mistakes. The side that's honest and truly cares. Contrary to what many people have accused me of over the past year, I really don't hate Charriii or his content. And moments like these really solidify that. So because of that, I'm actually going to remove 5 sins. Don't like that? Then you're heartless. And I truly mean that.
Sir, we think Shadow escaped into the forest with the black aliens.
Alert all field commanders in Sector B. I'm authorizing full use of all tactical weapons. I want both black aliens and Shadow stopped and buried.
I know that the commander is the one that has the final say, but didn't the gun troops see that Shadow aided in driving the Black Arms out of Westopolis? Because so far, we killed a bunch of them in the first level, and then destroyed an alien tank surrounded by an energy force field. Shadow chasing these dudes into the forest is like an angry father who tells crackheads to get out of his neighborhood, beats the ever-loving shit out of them when they don't, blows up their car, steals money from the local theme park for some reason, and then chases the crackheads into the next neighborhood over. You can't stop him!
There's one thing you've forgotten. The commander has a grudge against Shadow. As poorly written as it is, it's still a factor.
A Chaos Emerald? You've got to be kidding me, guys. This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
Never mind that Shadow's a dick to babies, I just like to remind everyone that this is the true hero path. Even in the semi-hero path, Shadow doesn't steal the Chaos Emerald. I was just kidding earlier about the whole thing with the developers not knowing what the words hero and dark meant, but I'm starting to think they really don't. And as if that weren't enough, we go into the second Maria level, which, as we all agreed, sucks ass, but after completing the level, we're just on the Ark? Which I guess means that Shadow blacked out and Sonic and Tails put the Chaos Emerald back? Because we don't get an emerald at the end of Lost Impact, which makes sense. It's a flashback level, meaning that not only would there be no point, but it also wouldn't make much sense to have an emerald on the Ark 50 years ago, but Shadow somehow still has the Cyan Emerald, so what the hell?
Shadow put the emerald away in Hammer Space when he took it. The scene on the Ark after the flashback level is a little later.
So, hold on. You censored the CGI version, but this is okay? I really don't get how the rating system works.
That would be a sin for the rating system itself, not Shadow the Hedgehog.
What is that?
Once every 50 years, that black comet passes by this planet. Oh, do you think those black creatures are somehow connected with that comet?
Do you think?
Sonic hasn't thought about the Black Comet yet, and it's understandable since he's been busy fighting the aliens this whole game.
I think you're right. I feel it. They're up there. That's where the answers are. I've got to get to that comet.
Okay, so they're turning back, but where were they going to in the first place?
Nobody cares!
Hey!
Nobody cares!
If we hadn't already played through a path where we know who's controlling it, Diablon comes out of fucking nowhere in this path. Actually, now that I think about it, why is the commander here? So far, we haven't given him or Sonic any reason to question us. He orders to mobilize Diablon after the Black Arms attack Central City and storm it, but that was a case of desperate times call for desperate measures. What is the commander desperate about in this case? We didn't let the Black Arms do anything.
The commander hates Shadow, remember? I know this game's writing is shit, but you can't ignore information in any game.
Antimatter cannon! Fire!
You know, I never thought about it, but wouldn't antimatter f***ing annihilate anything it came into contact with? Like, literally, even the floor should be exploding right now. Diablon is, in theory, the most dangerous, reckless, and irresponsible mechanized mobile unit ever.
You think gameplay is going to pay logic and realism any mind? In a game like Shadow the Hedgehog?
Where does it say best view tonight on this newspaper?
Somewhere in that unintelligible garble.
When did Amy and Rouge— ah, f*** it.
Since they're in a group, they went to the Ark together, likely on the rocket that Sonic was on.
Those black creatures just warped the comet down to the surface using chaos control.
How could you even possibly know that even?
It's an assumption based on Black Doom using chaos control and the change in the Comet's position. Trust me, they could feel the impact the Comet made.
The Professor was in development of the ultimate life force, but he needed my help. So we made a deal. I helped him, and he promised to deliver me the 7 Chaos Emeralds.
That can't be! He betrayed his own people for research? For Black Doom?
Dude, this is the same guy who rerouted his star-piercing space laser to collide and destroy the whole goddamn planet out of revenge. And who the f*** are you, Doctor? I unleashed an ancient water god to destroy the city so I could build a theme park and also pissed on them. Blew up the moon.
In Adventure 2, Gerald had the excuse of grief. In this game, it seems like he had no such excuse, but later we find out that he had a contingency plan. Besides, Eggman has nothing to do with Gerald's actions.
You know, Shadow, you had a little bit of time to get rid of the rest of the death leeches so they don't, you know, eat your friends alive.
You're sure about that? The Comet is currently sucking up the life force from the planet. Time is of the essence.
Okay, this is by far the strangest and perhaps even most difficult part to believe in this whole game. Team Chaotix is playing a 50-year-old AVI slideshow video with sound that is somehow streaming from the Ark to Earth, which, granted, makes sense because it happened in Adventure 2 as well. The Ark can act as a massive satellite transmitter. But while I know it's also on Earth, how is it streaming to the Black Comet? How are these screens reading the signal and playing the sound throughout the entire Comet? I'm all on board in thinking that the Comet is actually more of a spaceship and has all this alien technology, but how is it compatible with the Ark's human technology?
Gerald simply designed the program to infiltrate the Comet's mainframe. He's a genius after all.
The government plans to cease all of our research and imprison all who know about you.
I thought the gun shutdown was a raid. How did you catch wind that the government was coming to shut you down? And more importantly, why didn't you do anything about it? You had enough time to leave Shadow a message, which... Why did you leave Shadow a message? He was living on the Ark at that point. Why not tell that to him in person? Why wait until disaster has already struck to let Shadow know what to do? And also, shouldn't the government know this too? Added to that, I never thought about it, but didn't G.U.N seize all the Project Shadow documents when the shutdown happened? Wouldn't they have had this video diary as well as the diary that Eggman has in Adventure 2, meaning that they would know about the Black Arms as well as the Eclipse Cannon, and that they could use said cannon to destroy the Black Comet preemptively? I don't know, it feels like everyone dropped the ball on this one. Because G.U.N definitely knew about Project Shadow back in Adventure 2, but not enough that they even knew the difference between Shadow the Hedgehog and the Bio-Lizard, to the point where they had to send Rouge to figure it out. Eggman must have stolen Gerald's diary from somewhere and only took one entry for some dumb reason, and Shadow clearly knew what the Eclipse Cannon was in Adventure 2 and what it could do, meaning that this video diary isn't the first time he's heard about it. And I know, that game came out at a time when they planned to kill Shadow off and never revisit these concepts, but it's not impossible to write a new narrative around it. Hell, they're trying to make Gerald look like he's this unsung hero for creating Shadow, practically ignoring all the awful shit he did in Adventure 2. But you didn't have to retcon all that stuff. You could have written around it.
Believe it or not, they did write around it. You just need to think harder. The fact that Gerald is leaving this message means that he didn't have time to tell Shadow directly. Plus, it serves to explain just why the Eclipse Cannon even existed at all when there was seemingly no reason back then. Also, this program was hidden very secretly from G.U.N, so it could still be used in the future. Shadow may have a ton of issues regarding its story, but it does have its good moments. And this is one of them.
Why does Black Doom leave the Chaos Emeralds to Shadow? What, does he believe in a fair fight all of a sudden?
You act like he hasn't believed in a fair fight. What gave you that indication?
Can you hear me? We managed to escape from that comet!
How? How did you escape from the comet? You guys were not only paralyzed by the gas, which Black Doom said was entering your bloodstream, meaning there was nothing you could do to stop a total paralysis hitting your nervous system, but the death leeches were feasting on your flesh. It's a wonder you guys were even able to speak during all that. Not to mention, how are you guys even speaking to me now? This is usually a thing in Superform battles, but does Shadow have one of those micro earpieces that he needs to hold his fingers up to hear you guys, like in Metal Gear Solid or the Avengers?
The speaking just needs a suspension of disbelief, which you've proven incapable of having on several occasions, so I'm not surprised.
How do they have images of the Black Comet being destroyed, especially from all these different angles? How many satellites do you guys have up there, and why are they all so close to each other?
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Also, these people are not moving at all. I am convinced that they are soulless mannequins that Gun just puts there to look busy. And that man is still playing Galaga.
Charriii sins the same thing twice, cliche.
Let us pay homage to Professor Gerald.
Pay homage? You guys remember that this was the man responsible for all this, right? He's the one who made a deal with an alien race who planned to use humans as an energy source. He's the guy who went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and programmed an entire space colony to collide and destroy all of humanity, which, granted, he only did because the government killed all of his friends, colleagues, and family in order to shut down the project that they themselves funded, but there is blood on Gerald Robotnik's hands!
I will never understand how you were able to blatantly show information, pretend like that information doesn't exist, and get away with it. Gerald stated in the FMV, which everyone saw, including Gun, that he built the Eclipse cannon to take out the Black Arms. He never intended to give them what they wanted, and the worst thing he did was the government's fault. In this scene, they realized they were wrong and are trying to rectify it.
Where did you get that photo?
Nobody cares! Nobody! And you need to shut up!
I forever. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Why did they change the line from sayonara to goodbye forever? I mean, I know that's what sayonara means, coming from the Japanese sayo meaning that way and nara meaning if, which I guess more accurately translates to if it's to be that way, but we've been using it in colloquial English since the late 1800s. I think everybody knows what sayonara means.
I would play a nobody cares clip, but that was my last one. Besides, you can look at this as symbolism for Shadow burying the hatchet. Instead of saying sayonara, which is what Maria and Sonic said to him, he says goodbye forever. It works.
Hey everyone, Tony Sonic here. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Shadow the Hedgehog is one of the worst games I've ever played, to be honest. It's repetitive, it's horribly written, and it's bloated beyond belief. And that's just an overview of the problems. I could go into so much more depth regarding it. But a ton of people have done that before me. Honestly, I'm surprised Sega allowed this to be released at all. Although I have heard that the final product was changed a lot in order to get that precious E10 rating. And if that is the case, let this be a lesson to you, Sega. If you want to go dark, go dark. Don't let the stupid rating system hold you back. That thing is inconsistent enough as is. I mean, yeah, kids are a major part of the Sonic audience, but kids these days play more mature stuff. They can handle it. Trust me, they play Fortnite for Pete's sake. And Ratchet & Clank as well. Anyways, with all that said, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment what you thought, and consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel a lot. Now then, on to the next Everything Wrong With. And don't worry, I won't rush this one. Not that I didn't rush this one, you know what I mean. See ya.